Thanks for staying with us. Now, National Coordinator of the Ghana School Feeding Program, Dr.Kwame Adu-Nsiah, has been asked to step aside to allow for investigations into fraudulent dealings under his tenure. A letter cited by the minister, cited by JoyNews and signed by the Minister of Gender, Children and Social Protection, Cynthia Morrison, stated the national security has uncovered some fictitious deals such as inflation of enrollment figures by some schools and catering contracts for schools which are non-existent. It says, this is to inform you that the ministry has received a letter from the National Security alerting us of fraudulent deals going on in the Ghana School Feeding Program. They are as follows. Payment of some caterers who have not been assigned to any school by the School Feeding Program. Inflation of enrollment figures under the Ghana School Feeding Program. And B, catering contracts for some schools which do not exist but have been awarded to fictitious caterers who have been paid a total of 141,075 Ghana cedis for the third term of 2017-2018 academic year. Some names of caterers were identified to be involved in the ongoing malfeasance with non-existing schools assigned to them. D. Inflation of enrollment figures of some schools under the program compared to the figures of the Ghana Education Service for the 2017-2018 academic year. The ministry has been tasked to conduct an independent investigation into the above and take appropriate action. In view of the above, you are directed to stop the regional monitoring exercise and step aside while the ministry carries out an independent investigation into the matter. Please prepare your handing over notes and hand over to your deputy by close of Friday, 14th December 2018, and is signed by the Minister for Gender and Social Protection, Cynthia Morrison. Okay, so we are joined via Skype right now. We're joined via Skype right now by the Deputy Country Director of SEND Ghana, Dr. Emmanuel Ayifa. His NGO has been researching into corrupt practices plaguing the Ghana School Feeding Program. Many thanks for your time, sir.
Thank you for having me.
Right, so first of all, a quick reaction to this new development that we are hearing. The program manager for the Ghana School Feeding Program asked to step aside.
Yeah, good evening to your cherished viewers. Thanks for having me. This development, I think, is not very different from what SEND Ghana in 2017. In actual fact, in 2016, late 2016, conducted a survey to look at the implementation of the Ghana School Feeding Program. And then our report came in 2017. Two major things that came out was respect to the fact that, one, there were discrepancies of consistencies, respect to the number of people that are on the program. So what we see, let's give a clear case. Now when we saw our research is that in one particular school, I'm not mentioning the name of the school, one particular school, whereas the school submitted 335 people in 2014-2015 academic year. The figures we had from the caterers was 730 for the same school, and then the district directorate of education was 399. That is for one school. In 2015-2016 academic year, in the same school, we had
story about the national coordinator of the Ghana School Feeding Program who was asked to step aside after some fraudulent dealings were observed. And so we were earlier speaking to Dr. Emmanuel Ayifa. He's Deputy Country Director of SEND Ghana. He joins us back on the line via Skype, I beg your pardon. Thanks again for your time, Dr. Eifa. You are talking to us about your research findings, which showed, anomalies in some of the schools selected for programs not captured by the Ghana Education Service.
Thank you once again, Araba. Just to put this in perspective, our research was conducted in 90 schools in the Greater Accra region, Northern Ghana, and Northern Ghana, I mean Northern, Upper East, and Upper West. And it was targeted at the caterers, the head teachers, and also the education director. And so these were the people that we interviewed. One major thing that we found from our study was that there were differences in terms of the number of schools that all the three study participants actually said the program. So I was given a case where one particular school in 2015-2016 academic, whereas the school, I mean, Ethical gave us 388 pupils. The caterer gave us 745. And then the figures that we had for the district education director was also 388. That is for one. In another school, whereas the school gave us 447 pupils, the caterer gave 148, and the figure we had for the teaching director was 30. So you can see clearly that there are a lot of discrepancies in terms of the number of pupils that affect under the education program. And so we are not surprised at St. Ghana that the investigation at the national security is to point
so
similar situation.
So clearly, this doesn't come to you as a surprise that the national coordinator has been asked to step aside for investigations into the program to begin. How do you propose we go about, mopping the loopholes in the system to avoid these incidents, creeping up?
So one major recommendation that we make from our research has to do with increased monitoring. Because we realize that there are no proper monitoring mechanisms, and that is what we found for some of these discrepancies. So what we suggested is that as much as possible, the Ministry of Gender Protection, in collaboration with the Ministry of Education, should, as from time to time, monitor of all living out the Ghana program secretaries as well. They have to, from time to time, monitor to find out that the figures that they are giving are what is consistent with what they have at the table. That is one. Another thing that we also propose is to look at, in terms of putting the data records. Because if we have a very good data management system in place, it is actually going to solve this issue of the discrepancies. And that is one thing that should be done. So there should be periodic cleaning data, the data that is given to the secretary by the various district education directorate should be checked with that of the caterers, and then the needed thing needs to be done. One thing that we also identified is that the caterers have the capacity to actually collect very accurate data in terms of just the number of people that they feed. And so putting their capacity within the caterers collect this basic data is one thing that has to be done. So the bottom line is having a very robust data feed Ghana's children.
All right. Okay, many thanks for your time. That's Dr. Emmanuel Eyifa. He's the Deputy Country Director for Send Ghana. You're watching Joy News Prime. We're taking